Welcome. My name is Roman Olay, and I would like to surprise you with some things you probably don't know about astrology, even if you're a professional astrologer. Have you wondered why astrology actually works, or if it even works at all? Today, science is searching for the root of things from a quantum view of reality. That root has been established for countless millennia in the pattern of the 12 signs. To understand why this is, we have to go to the beginning. For me, the beginning was when I was about 10, and my best friend asked me out of the blue, "What is God?" My answer, perhaps unexpected for both of us, is the same answer I would give you today. God dreams. We are that dream. When we identify with the dream, we're bound by the dream. We think that's all we are, and that's all there is. But we also are not separate from the dreamer, even though we may search for the answer from within that dream. When we realize this, not from the mind but from our inner being, the veil of separation is lifted. The dream and the dreamer are not separate. This is really a core message of most great faiths. Jesus said, "We're in the world, but we're not of the world." What does that mean? How is that possible? There really are two realities as such. One reality is what we create from our senses, including our mind. We really do not know what the world around us is because we act from our imagination and projections. We act from our formative beliefs since childhood. But that reality is real. What makes it unreal is that our perception of the world around us is limited to our experiences and the delay of our perceptions. In this way, we live in response to the past, adapting to the present. The other reality is experienced from within, when we're not caught in our thoughts and reactions to the past and on the world around us. We experience this reality when we are open to it and form a relationship with it. It is here that we experience our own inner validation and clarity that we can extend out into the world again. From this place, we realize that everything is alive and made out of consciousness, including time and space. Today we live in a technological understanding of the world around us, but it is incomplete. It ignores the inner reality, our inner experience and inner validation. It defines us from the outside, from surfaces, from cause and effect. And from this perspective of our technological understanding, astrology does not quite fit in because astrology is not solely based on cause and effect. And unfortunately, in the last 100 years or so, even astrologers have tried to redefine astrology from that perspective. And in doing so, they have ignored the true value and understanding of astrology and what it really is. The core and foundation of astrology is a bridge between our inner reality and the reality we experience in the world around us. In a way, it describes how the dream, the outer reality, and our perceptions of it manifested. There is a historical reason why science tends to put astrology down. A few hundred years ago, a conflict arose between the church and the new science. For their ideas, people like Bruno was burned at the stake, and even Galileo was put under house arrest. In the 17th century, the conflict was resolved politically. The new science was allowed to continue if it left spiritual matters to the church. The decision affected both astrology and science directly and profoundly because astrology bridges the spirit and the mundane. Both Bruno and Galileo were astrologers. In fact, the pillars of modern science were astrologers, including Kepler, and even Newton knew astrology, but was secretly an alchemist. The modern physical sciences come directly from the work of astrologers, who through testing and experimentation used the bridge of astrology to extend into the principles that defined the outer reality, and discovered the physical laws that we still use today. Unfortunately, those that succeeded them only focused on what they knew, and because of the political decision, only on the outer reality, on cause and effect, a solely mechanical interpretation of the world. The bridge to the inner reality was lost. Ironically, until we more fully understand this bridge, we will not understand the science and technology of other species and intelligent life beyond the earth, who did not separate the inner and outer realities, who did not throw away the bridge because of a political compromise. Let's talk about this bridge, the secret of astrology. That secret is that the physical universe around us, the way the dream manifests, emerges from the interaction of two harmonic interactions. I spent years creating computer programs to investigate how resonances may combine to explain this complexity of what we observe in the world around us. I realized that although we experience duality, the universe does not emerge out of duality, defining cause and effect. Instead, the primary interaction is between the originating frequency and its third harmonic, shown in green. We see this depicted in the Trinity, the triangle and depictions of the chakras, and in the Om symbol, with the three gunas of yoga, sattva, tamas, and rajas. We also see this represented in the tridents of Poseidon and Atlantis, and in the trident of Shiva. It is still preserved in the emblem of Ukraine, which gives us a hint of how ancient that culture really is. The ancients made it clear that the universe initiates from resonance and vibration. The images of Shiva, for example, show a drum attached to the trident. How obvious can that hint be? Duality is introduced by adding the sixth harmonic, shown in blue. The sixth harmonic is the second harmonic to the third. We have introduced duality now. When we combine these together, the sum, the result, is the formative pattern that permeates everything around us. This is the pattern of the 12 signs. I use simple waves to illustrate this, but we can start with complex waveforms. We still get the pattern of the 12 signs. This is the pattern that originates our experience of space and time. It's found everywhere if you know where to look. Because it is found everywhere, astrology is able to discern the significance of things in relation to space and time, and is able to predict that pattern going forwards or into what has been. I invite you to appreciate the profoundness of this by giving you two examples where this pattern manifests and is clearly seen. Our bodies manifest this pattern, but we also see this pattern in older roads. An example of this can be found along Highway 1 in the United States, the oldest road. In the human body, the first sign is Aries, associated with the outer Ajna chakra. Its element is fire, and Aries is associated with the path of the warrior. And of course, Highway 1 begins at a military fort, Fort Kent, definitely Aries. Next is the earth sign, Taurus, holding value and beauty. This is also the location of the throat chakra, the creativity of expression arising at the throat. The postcard images of New England associated with value and beauty resonate with Taurus. The third sign is Gemini, related to the lungs and the vocal cords. The interaction of the breath with our mind. It is how we let the world in through air, through breath, information, and communication. Along Highway 1, we pass near Yale, Harvard, and MIT. Fourth is the water sign, Cancer, the crab, associated with the stomach, esophagus, and the skin. It's how we absorb the world through substance and hold feelings. Along Highway 1, we pass Ellis Island, where we welcomed immigrants into the United States. The sign, Cancer, welcomes family and the home. The second fire sign is at the heart, the sign, Leo, the fire of our expression and enthusiasm. And along Highway 1, we pass the shining of New York, definitely Leo. The second earth sign, Virgo, is at the solar plexus and at the upper intestinal tract. It's here where we extract the nutrients of the body. It is related to work and effort. And along Highway 1, this is where the early industrial belt formed. The second air sign is Libra, at the center of our body. Libra focuses on relationship, fairness, and equality. Along Highway 1, we pass the Capitol and the District of Columbia. Our elected representatives are the result of our equal vote. The second water sign, Scorpio at the abdominal plexus and lower intestinal tract, is where we let go what is not working anymore. It reveals the hidden and protecting our power. So it's no surprise that across the river from the capital, we see the CIA headquarters and also the FBI training academy, investigating and protecting our value. Definitely Scorpio. The last fire sign, Sagittarius, expresses through the extensors of our thighs and upper arms, where we extend out into our trust and beliefs. It relates to expansion. Along Highway 1, we pass the Blue Ridge Mountains, the highest peaks along this road. The last earth sign, Capricorn, centers our knees and elbows, where we lock against gravity and hold honor and responsibility. Along Highway 1, Capricorn associates to the Bible Belt, maintaining and honoring traditions. The last air sign, Aquarius, reflects the freedom and movement at our ankles and wrists. Aquarius breaks set, seeking change and the unexpected. Along Highway 1, we pass Cape Canaveral and the Kennedy Space Center in Disneyland and Disney World. Definitely Aquarius. Finally, the last sign, Pisces, at the soles of our feet and palms of our hands. We have the association of the laying of hands and the feet of saints. It's where Highway 1 ends in the ocean at the Florida Keys. Definitely Pisces. We can also go west with the same pattern. The Mississippi for Libra and Silicon Valley and Disneyland for Aquarius, and coastal California for Pisces. It is because the world around us manifests the pattern of the signs through time, astrology can predict. And it's because astrology first linked space and time that many of the early pillars of science like Galileo or Kepler were in fact astrologers. If you want to read more about astrology revealed in its secrets, you might want to consider purchasing my book, The Signs, the Ancient Knowledge. It is available at Amazon. Has over 200 original color illustrations. I made them. It's not only groundbreaking, but it's also designed to be practical for you to use in your life. Thank you for listening. I will be presenting more videos on YouTube that may also surprise you in the near future. Look under Roman Ole.